tell you today? Okay, good evening, dear women, righteous women. Good evening. I would like to start the lesson, but before I'll start, this is the time to ask that בעזרת השם שיגיע המשיח צדקנו במהרה בימינו אמן. אליהו הנביא, אליהו התשבי, אליהו הגלדדי במהרה בנו משיח בן דוד, אליהו הנביא זכור לטוב. בעזרת השם, this lesson, I would like this week, parasha is parashat Ekev. But we are not going to touch Parashat Ekev this lesson. We're going to speak the whole time about Tu B'Av, the 15th of Av. We are going to give explanations why is the 15th of Av a special day, a day of celebration. It's written b'Masechet Ta'anit. It's written, Amar Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel. You remember Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel? Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel is one of the 10 people that were executed by the hands of the Romans, Aseret Harugei Malchut. You remember we spoke about it last lesson. And Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel was the president of the Sanhedrin after the ruining of the Second Temple. So he said at the end of Masechet Ta'anit, Lo hayu yamim tovim liYisrael k'chamisha b'Av v'keyom HaKippurim. The children of Israel did not have better days, festival days, holidays, good days, happy days like the 15th of Av and Yom HaKippurim day. So it seems very weird, and it's written over there. How come Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel says that the 15th of Av, first he compares that to Yom HaKippurim. Yom HaKippurim is a day of fasting. We do not eat. We ask forgiveness from Hashem. It's Yom Adin. It's Judgment Day. We are very afraid of Hashem. We want to do good at that day. We are like angels. We dress all white. So how come Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel compares the 15th of Av to Yom Kippurim? What is so special about those 2 days? And I would like to tell you another thing. All of these weeks, the 7 weeks until Rosh Hashanah, 7 weeks from Tisha B'Av until Rosh Hashanah, you will see those are the 7 weeks of comfort. We are reading from the book of the prophet Ishayahu. Last week, the Shabbat of last week was called Shabbat Nachamu because we said Nachamu, Nachamu Ami. We read it from the book of Ishayahu. All of the 7 weeks, we are reading comforts, prophecies of comforts to the children of Israel. To tell us that Be'ezrat Hashem, listen, dear women, all of the nations have an angel, Sar B'Shamayim. And that angel is responsible for that nation. When God decides to take off this angel, to kill this angel, then the nation of that angel that he's responsible for does not exist anymore. For example, the 7 nations that lived in Canaan, in the land of Israel, before the children of Israel went, God killed all of them. Which means because of the angel that wasn't there anymore, the nation was ruined. There was no nation anymore. Look at the Maya. Look at all the nations that already they were there and do not exist anymore. But the children of Israel do not have an angel. God Himself is protecting us. We are the children of God. And because He's infinity, He's forever. He's the beginning, the end, He's everything. We are going to stay. Even though sometimes we don't do what He says. But still we are the children of God. So the nation of Israel, which means the children of Israel, Yaldei Israel, Bnei Israel, will be always here. Because we are under the cover of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, of God, of Hashem. So look over here at 15 B'Av and Yom HaKippurim. Derech Agav, I would like to tell you something. You know that this month is called the month of Av. But after Tisha B'Av, it is not called anymore the month of Av. It is called Menachem Av. Menachem Av. Because we are in the 7 weeks of comfort of the children of Israel. That's why it's called Menachem, comforting Av. It's Menachem Av. That's why it's called Menachem. When you hear Menachem Av, you'll understand after Tisha B'Av, the month is called, it's added to the name of the month, the word Menachem, comfort, Menachem Av. This is how the month is called now. Menachem Av. Because those are the days of Nechama, of comfort. And I would like to tell you, dear women, why did Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel compare those 2 days? Because we know Yom Kippurim, we are so afraid what God will do, and we are waiting for Ne'ilah, and Ne'ilah we sit and we daven to Hashem. El Nora Alila, Amtzilanu Mechila Bishat Ne'ilah, we say. So how come those are the best days for the children of Israel? He says those are the best days. Look, it says, "Lo hayu yamim tovim liYisrael ke-15 b'Av v'chayom HaKippurim." There were no good days for the children of Israel like those 2 days, the 15th of Av and Yom HaKippurim. And I already told you that the month of Av is very dangerous because 3 months are under the angel of Esav. That I told you, Tammuz, Av, and Tevet. And I already told you they should not fight on these 3 months. You should try to stay calm. You should have peace with everyone. So I would like to tell you something. You remember what happened on Yom Kippurim? On Yom Kippurim, Moshe Rabbeinu went down on the mountain of Sinai with the 2 new tablets, the second tablets. You remember? Because on Yom Kippurim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, Salachti kitbarech, I forgave the children of Israel. That's why Yom Kippurim is a very good day for the children of Israel, because God forgave them for the sin of the golden cloth. So it's very important, because if He gave us, otherwise, oy vavoy, what would have happened to us? Chas v'shalom. So He forgave the children of Israel for the sin of the golden cloth. And on Yom Kippurim, Moshe Rabbeinu came down with the second 2 tablets. And now what happened on Tu B'Av? You remember what happened on Tisha B'Av? You remember that the spies, I told you about the spies, they came after, they went to the land of Israel, they came back and they said, oy vavoy, listen, the people in the land of Israel are very strong, the cities are strong, they have walls over the cities, we cannot conquer the land. So you remember what happened? The children of Israel started crying. And God said, you are crying in vain. I will cause you to cry. I'll ruin the temple on this day. I would like to tell you, dear women, the day that they cried is the 9th of Av. And that was the day that they started crying. So what happened from that year on? Thank you. Baruch atah Adonai melech haolam she'akol niya b'dvaro. On that day on, every year, there used to be a karuz. There used to be a voice stating, dig a grave. So every man...
Women not supposed to. It's called like...
I would like to tell you, dear women, shh. Let's concentrate. So every year on the 9th of Av, they used to dig a grave. And the men used to go into the grave. And then what happened is the ones that were supposed to die, their tongue used to become so long till it came to the belly button over here. And then worms started going out of their tongue to the belly button and ate them and they died. In the morning, there was a voice stating, shh, separate the living from the dead. All the ones that were in the grave and were alive, they went out of their graves. They went to the brothers and sisters, to all of the children of Israel that did die, and they covered them. And this happened every year. You know how many children of Israel passed away every year on the 9th of Av? Around 15,000, between 15,000 to 16,000 men. Not women, only men. 15,000 to 16,000. So every year, what happened on the 40th year? On the 40th year, they dig the grave for themselves. And they went in. But then in the morning, everyone was alive. So they thought they made a mistake on the day. It wasn't the 9th of Av. Maybe the next day is the 9th of Av. So they left the graves, they went in again. And the next day again, because they thought we made a mistake with the date. And what happened is that on the 15th of Av, you know, the moon is full on that time. They went out, they saw the moon is full. It means it has to be the middle of the month. The 15th of Av. So on the 15th of Av, dear women, everybody was alive. It meant that God forgave the children of Israel for the spies' sin. And that's why it was a very happy day. That's why it was a very happy day, because on the 15th of Av, they noticed that the Gzerah, the punishment that they had from Hashem, that every year on the 9th of Av, 15,000, between 15,000 to 16,000 people will die, men will die, stopped on the 40th year. So I would like to tell you that's why it was a very happy day. It was a happy day because God forgave the children of Israel for the sin of the spies on the 15th of Av. And on Yom Kippurim, He forgave the children of Israel for the sin of the golden cloth. So those are two very happy days. That's why Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel said, there were no better days for the children of Israel than those 2 days. The 15th of Av and Yom Kippurim, the 10th of Tishrei.
It was the first time that this happened, right?
Yes.
Since all the...
Since 38 years, 38 years because the spies' sin started on the second year when they went out of Egypt. So 38 years they died in the desert. Every year 15,000 to 16,000 died in the desert. But on the 40th year it stopped. And it was a miracle because they thought they did something wrong with the calculation of the month, of the day of the month. But when they saw that the moon is full, it means that this is the middle of the month. This is the 15th of Av. And that's why they were very happy. They celebrated as a Yom Tov, as a happy day. So this is only one of the things that makes Tu B'Av a happy day. There are more things and we're going to speak about it. I would like to tell you, dear women, that on the 15th of Av, another thing happened. Hoshea ben Elah, he was a king for the children of Israel. You remember that after King Solomon, the kingdom was split into two tribes, which were Shevet Yehuda and Shevet Binyamin, 2 tribes, and then there were all the 10 other tribes that were also in a different kingdom. It was split to 2 kingdoms. So it says that Rechavam ben Shlomo was ruling. He was the son of Shlomo, Rechavam. He was the descendant of Shlomo. He was ruling the kingdom of Yehuda. And then at the same time there was Yerovam ben Nevat. Yerovam, look, it seems like the same name, Rechavam Yerovam. Yerovam ben Nevat was ruling the children of Israel. Now that became a problem for Yerovam ben Nevat. Because Yerovam ben Nevat, he said to himself, every year, 3 times a year, they have to go to Jerusalem. To Bet HaMikdash, to the temple. Why they have to go on Sukkot, Pesach, Shavuot? They have to go and give sacrifices over there. But if they will go there, they will see the true king sitting on the throne there. Because by Ezra will sit only the descendant of King David. And the descendant is Rechavam ben Shlomo. Yerovam ben Nevat is not a descendant of King David. So he said, I will have a problem. The children of Israel will say, listen, you're not the true king. The true king is Rechavam ben Shlomo, because he's allowed to sit over there. He will have to stand like all the others, Yerovam ben Nevat. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because he won't be the true king. He says, even if I'll go and sit on that chair, then everybody will say that will take me out of there and I will be killed. So I have to do something to prevent the children of Israel from going there, over there, from going to Jerusalem, to the temple in Jerusalem, Beit HaMikdash. So listen what he did. He called an assembly, and he put a righteous person next to a wicked person. And he said, I would like to write a letter, and I would like all of you to sign it, but I would like to ask a few questions before you sign it. First of all, he said, everything that I will command you as your king, will you accept that? Everybody said yes. He says, am I your king? Everybody answered yes. He said, and if I will command you something to do, even if it will be worshipping another god, even it will be worshipping another god, will you accept that? So the righteous people said immediately, no, we won't, chas v'shalom. But the wicked people that sat next to them, he did it on purpose, told the righteous people, you really think that Yerovam ben Nevat, our king, will tell us to worship another god? It's obvious that he won't, but he's trying to test us. If he will do whatever he says. So then the righteous people said, okay. And he gave them the letter and they signed it. The next day, he prepared 2 golden cloths, like the golden cloth that the children of Israel did in the desert. 2 of them. He put one in Dan and one in Bet El. And he put guards on the ways to Jerusalem. He put the guards over there, and he said, the one that will go to Jerusalem will be killed by the sword. And he made the children of Israel worship idols. So in his time, all of them had to worship idols, because the ones that wanted to go to Jerusalem to worship Hashem, to go over there 3 times a year, they couldn't, because they were killed by the sword. And then it says that on the 15th of Av, Hosha ben Elah, a new king that came over there, gave a permission to the children of Israel to worship Hashem in Bet HaMikdash, in the temple. He said that he's giving a permission to all of the children of Israel to worship whatever they want. So he took off all the guards that were on the way to Jerusalem. So this happened on the 15th of Av. It was another celebration. And another thing that happened on the 15th of Av, you remember that I told you, we spoke about the Aseret Harugei Malchut, the 10 Tanaim that were executed during the Roman times, after the ruining of the temple. So you remember I spoke very shortly about a city that was called Beitar. Beitar is part of the city of Jerusalem. I would like to tell you, dear women, it is said that the city of Beitar was standing after the ruining of the second temple for 52 years. 52 years. Most of the cities did not stand at all. And you know why? It says because they did not have false hatred. They had unconditional love between them. So it was standing for 52 years. And I would like to tell you a story. It says that there was a big hero in that city. His name was Ben Koziva. Ben Koziva was a big hero. It says that Adrianos, the Caesar, he wanted to conquer the city of Jerusalem. For 3.5 years, he was standing around the walls of Beitar. He tried to conquer Beitar, but he couldn't. Because all of the stones, you know that they used to throw stones inside cities that had walls around it. So they threw stones, big stones inside, but Ben Koziva was so strong that he took his knee, and with his knee he threw the stone back at them, and he killed hundreds of them. He was so strong, one person. And it says he had over there 200,000 strong warriors that all of them did not have a finger. And you know why? Because he used to test them to see if they are brave. He used to test them by telling them that they have with their teeth to take off their finger. So there were 200,000 people, warriors over there without a finger. Because with their teeth they took off their finger. And our sages used to tell him, Ben Koziva, why do you cause this to the children of Israel? So he said, I have to find out if they are strong and if they can fight. So they said, maybe you should do something else. And he said, what is your idea? And the sages told him, you should take them and tell them to ride on horses, and with their hands, while they're riding, to take a cedar tree out of its roots. You know, it's only nobody can do that. So that's what he did, and he had 400,000 warriors, 200,000 that didn't have a finger, and 200,000 that took out a cedar tree with their hands. Wow. And it says that after 3.5 years, Adriano saw that he cannot conquer Beitar, and he almost gave up. So it says that he almost gave up conquering the city of Beitar. Now listen very carefully, dear women. What happened? It says that a guy came to him, a non-Jew that disliked the Jews very much. He said, listen very carefully. Inside that city, there's a person, a rabbi, that is called Eliezer Hamudai. Elazar Hamudai was a rabbi that was sitting over there, a very righteous person. Every day he was sitting on the ground with ashes around him and putting ashes on him and davening to Hashem. He told Hashem, listen Hashem, today do not judge us for the bad things that we do. But you will ask me, you just told me that there was avat chinam. It was unconditional love between them. So what kind of bad things did they do? Let's concentrate. So what bad things did they do? So it says that Ben Koziba, every time that he fought the Romans, he said to God, you do not go with us. We do not need you are strong enough. So every time that Rabbi Elazar Amudai heard that, Rabbi Elazar Amudai was sitting on the ground with ashes around him and davening and fasting to Hashem every day. Every day. And he said to Hashem, today do not sit on the chair of judgment. You know, it says like God sometimes sits on the chair of judgment and sometimes on the chair of kindness. So he said, don't sit on the chair of judgment. Don't judge us today. Please do not look at our bad sins. So God did not judge them. So that guy said, this chicken that sits, so he called him a chicken, that sits over there with ashes around her, because of her you cannot conquer the city, Beitar. So he said, let me do something and I will help you.
Who said that?
The guy that hated the Jews. He said, let me do something. So this guy went inside. He knew a place that he can come inside. He went in and he spoke to Rabbi Elazar Hamudai. He spoke to him in his ear. He said something in his ear. But that time, Rabbi Elazar Hamudai was davening to Hashem. So he did not hear anything. He was concentrating with kavanah to Hashem. He did not hear anything he told him. The people in the city saw that. They went to Ben Kuziva and they told him, you know, Rabbi Elazar Hamudai was speaking with a stranger that came in. So what shall we do? So Ben Kuziva came to Rabbi Elazar Hamudai and he told Rabbi Elazar Hamudai, he said, tell me, before he came to him, sorry, he came to, that guy, he took the guy and brought him in front of him. He said to the guy, tell me, he says, what did you say to Rabbi Elazar Hamudai? And what did he tell you? So the guy said, I asked, how can we conquer this city? And Rabbi Elazar Hamudai told me, you can tell Adrianus to come into the city, everything will be okay. There will be peace, you can conquer the city. Peacefully you can conquer it. Now Ben Kuziva came to Rabbi Elazar Hamudai and he asked him, what did that guy tell you? And Rabbi Elazar told him, I don't know what you're talking about. I was davening to Hashem. I did not pay attention to that person. And Ben Kuziva did not believe him. He took his leg, his knee, and he gave him a kick. And when he did that, Rabbi Elazar Hamudai died at that moment. It says that Bat Kol went out of heaven and said, it said like this, באותה שעה יצאה בת קול ואמרה, בן כוזיבה, he says, אתה הרגת את רבי אלעזר, you killed רבי אלעזר, שהיה יד הימין, he was the right hand של ישראל, of the children of Israel, והעין הימנית, and the right eye of the children of Israel. לפיכך תיבש ידך ימינית, because of that, your right hand won't be there, and also בעיניך תחשך, you will not see with your eyes. It says that Adrianus came in, conquered the city, killed everyone. All of the children that were studying Torah, they wrapped the children with their books around them. They burned the children. And all the people, everybody, they killed everyone. It says that the blood came to a height, that it came to the nostrils of the horses. And the blood was flowing from the city because he killed Rabbi Elazar Hamudai. Was flowing from the city like river of water. The blood was flowing. And I would like to tell you, dear women, it was not only that. Andrianos, that was so angry that he couldn't conquer the city for 3.5 years, took all the bodies of all, they killed everyone over there. He had a vineyard.
Why they are thinking?
Because he wanted to kill, it's after the ruining of the second temple, he wanted to conquer the city of Beitar. I told that. The city of Beitar was standing for 52 years, nobody can conquer her. So after he went in and killed everyone, he had a vineyard, a big vineyard. It says 18 meal al 18 meal. And he took all of the bodies and he put them around the wall of the vineyard with their hands like this, one above the other. The dead people, the dead bodies. They could not bury them. They couldn't bury them. For years they stood over there, they could not bury them. He left them over there, the bodies. He did not allow nobody to bury them. But when a new king came, it says that on the 15th of Av, he gave a permission to bury them. And we say, you know, Birkat Hamazon, we will go through it. Well, I told you we will study halachot, the laws. But on Birkat Hamazon, the fourth bracha is the blessing of Hatov V'Hameitiv. The blessing of Hatov V'Hameitiv, now you'll know, Hatov V'Hameitiv, the good, and he who does good. This is for all of the people that were slaughtered in Beitar. We say that in Birkat Hamazon. When we say Birkat Hamazon, the fourth blessing, you will see the Atov v'Ameitiv, the good and he who does good, both of them, we say that on the fourth blessing because of all the people that were slaughtered in Beitar. And why? Hatov is because God took care of the bodies so the bodies won't rot. There wasn't any decay on the bodies. They did not decompose. The bodies were fresh. You cannot believe it. They were outside, because animals also can come to them. They were fresh. So we say Hatov for the miracle that God did for the bodies of those slaughtered children of Israel in the city of Beitar. We say the good because they were not decomposed. הם לא נרקבו הגופות, הם נשארו.
למה הם מגיעים להם ככה חס ושלום?
בגלל שהוא הרג את אותו אלעזר המודעי. So it says that's what we say Hatov. And Ba'ameitiv is because on the 15th of Av they were allowed to bury the bodies of the children of Israel that were slaughtered in the city of Beitar.
So how long we stayed out there?
They stood for a very long time until this Andrianos went out of his throne and the new king came.
So in Israel now the Chilonim calling to B'Av as a Yom Ha'ava, the day of love, like Valentine. What's the connection with the Valentine? Day of love and to such a terrible thing.
It's a day of happiness.
It's
a day of I'll explain it. Why is it a day of love? I will explain. Let me a little bit, we'll do it stage by stage. Don't worry, we'll come to it. I'll explain why is it a special day. That it's really called also Yom Ha'ava. It's a true Yom Ha'ava. And you'll get to the explanation, everything. Don't worry, we'll do it. Another thing that happened on the 15th of Av, on the 15th of Av, you know that the day starts to be shorter. The strength of the sun becomes less stronger, and the days becomes shorter. You'll see it. You'll pay attention. It's on the 15th of Av. And what happens? In order to take trees and to chop them and to put them on the altar, the trees have to be dry without any worm inside. Moist in the trees causes worms to live in the trees, and you cannot put that on the altar. I would like you know that the Kohanim used to worship Hashem in Beit HaMikdash. But I would like that some of the Kohanim were crippled. They had mum, a fault in them. So it says that those Kohanim that had a fault in them and couldn't worship Hashem in Beit HaMikdash, they were the ones that used to check the trees, the wood, and to see that there is no worm inside. Now, until the 15th of Av, the sun is so strong that it can really dry the wood and no worm will be inside. But after that, you cannot cut the trees. Rashi says you cannot cut the trees after the 15th of Av. So everybody that had the privilege, the merit to cut the trees, used to cut it until the 15th of Av and to give a korban todah, a thank you korban, sacrifice to Hashem, which was called korban etzim, which was called the sacrifice of trees. They used to give us because they had the merit to bring the trees. It wasn't easy to find the trees and to see that they don't have worms inside and to prepare them for the altar. And because the chopping of the trees stopped on the 15th of Av. This is also one of the happiest things that happens on the 15th of Av. And I would like to tell you another thing. She asked me about Yom Ha'ava. On the 15th of Av, there was a permission. You remember the children, not Tzolfachad, the girls, the daughters of Tzolfachad that I told you, that their father, you remember the father, was gathering wood on Shabbat, and he was killed by the court, by Bet Din. So they didn't have brothers. And they came to Moshe Rabbeinu and asked Nachala. They wanted a peace in the land of Israel, instead of their father, because they didn't have brothers. And it was decided that the girls that do not have brothers, they will have a piece of the land in the land of Israel. So, but it says also that they are not allowed to marry men from out of their tribe, because then the land will go with them. So that tribe that they are from, that they were born into, will have less land that was decided from Hashem. So after this generation passed away, there was a permission on the 15th of Av of intermarriage between the tribes. That's why it's Yom Ha'ava. This is one reason that it's called the Love Day, because there was a permission that from now on the 15th of Av, from the 15th of Av, there is a permission that there will be a marriage between the tribes. There won't be any, for the daughters that inherited, you understand, land in the land of Israel, because they said that the law is only above the children of Israel that were conquered the land of Israel.
Which tribe before? Which tribe?
All tribes, all of them. There was intermarriage between all of the tribes, because the law, החוק נגע רק לאלה שכבשו את ארץ ישראל. After the land was conquered and the children of Israel were settled in the land of Israel, from the 15th and on, they could intermarry between the tribes. And then there's another story. We'll speak about it. And there was another story about the 15th of Av. And the story was about Pilegesh Bagivah. The Pilegesh Bagivah is concubine on the hill. It says, I'm going to start the story from the beginning because I'll do it with you.
What was her name?
Pilegesh Bagivah.
What was her name?
Her name is not mentioned. I would like to tell you that the Mefarshim say, our sages say that it means there was a Ish Levi. It says a story about Ish Levi. It's at the end of the book of Judges. There are two stories at the end of the book of Judges. I will give you the two of them. One of them, it starts with Micha. You remember Micha? Who was Micha? I told you who was Micha, but I'll remind you. Vidyuk. I told you, you remember that when Paro decided not to give them the materials in order to prepare the bricks, so they had to do everything. They had to gather everything, the straw and everything, to prepare the material. And because of that, you remember that children, he used to put Paro inside the bricks while they're preparing it, and then put it in the walls. So Moshe Rabbeinu went to Hashem and he cried to Hashem and said, look what they are doing to your children. They are taking babies and putting them part of, because if the children of Israel did not have enough, they did not do all the amount of bricks that they had to do every day, they will take babies and put them as bricks. So he went to Moshe Rabbeinu, went to Hashem and said, Hashem, have mercy on our children. Look what they are doing to them. God said, don't interfere with what I do. Those souls can be very bad and cause the children of Israel to sin. So Moshe Rabbeinu insisted. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, Hashem said to him, you are allowed to take one of them out. So he took out a child, a baby, from out of the bricks. Because he was squashed inside, Micha, Ma'uch in Hebrew, squashed inside, he called him Micha. Because in Hebrew it's ma'uch, it's squashed inside. This was Micha. So
he was still alive?
Yes, it was still fresh. So he could take him outside, he washed him and he raised him. He was inside the children of Israel. And it says that this Micha caused the children of Israel to sin. And how did he do that? It says that his mother was very rich. And when they were already, because it's the book of Judges, it's after the book of Yoshua, they're already in the land of Israel. And you'll see that those two stories are supposed to be at the beginning of the book, but they're at the end of the book, because this is the time that there's no king, there's no judge in the children of Israel. So it's supposed to be at the beginning, but God did not want the children of Israel to be embarrassed. He put it at the end. Those two stories are at the end of the book of Judges instead of at the beginning. And it says like this, that his mother was very rich. She had like 1,100 silver coins and gold coins. She had a lot of money. And after her husband passed away, she couldn't find the money. And she thought that someone stole it from her. So she cursed the one that stole it from her. And she said that if they will find the money and bring it back, she will do a good thing, a righteous thing with the money. And you know who took the money? Her son Micha. But he didn't mean anything bad. He wanted to take, he said that my father passed away, now I'm the man of the house, so I inherit all of his possessions. I will be responsible for my mother. But she did not know that, and he did not know that she made such a fuss over it. So he came to his mother, he understood that this is a sin, because if she cursed, it's a sin. So he came to his mother and said, "Mother, I took the money. It's with me. It's in my possession, and I'm so sorry. I thought father passed away, so now I'm the man of the house. I should provide for you, so I took the money." So she said, "Don't worry about my curse. You're my son, so it's like you're inheriting the money with me. So it doesn't include you, the curse." But then she thought, "What shall I do?" I said, "I will do a righteous thing with it." So she this thought, and then she said, "Okay, I'll make an image that the Shekhinah will be on that image." And you know that you are not allowed to make an image. It's a love in the Torah. But what happens? Like a pesel, statue. That's an image. So you know you're not allowed. But what happened when the children of Israel do not study Torah? They do not remember the laws of the Jewish people, the laws that Hashem gave us. For example, God told us when we come to the land of Israel in the times of Yoshua, we should take out all of the goyim from the land of Israel. Why? Because then if they will stay among us, we will study their ways. Look at us today. We are among all the other nations. And look how many of us go to shuls that have women and men together, sitting together. Look how it becomes very easy to learn from the other nations. What do they do? Look how avera goreret avera. Sin causes another sin. Because if we sit together in the shul, men and women together, then from there it's very easy to also marry a non-Jewish woman or a non-Jewish man. It becomes very easy because we allow ourselves. You know, when we have a lab, you must not do ABC. And we decide, we can take the corners and just, make them agulot yoter, make them round from the corners. So then we allow ourselves. And once we allow ourselves to sin, the next sin is easier. So one causes another thing. When we do a mitzvah causes another mitzvah. But then when we do a sin, another sin comes in front of us. So it's very easy to fall down when we do not know the laws of the children of Israel, the laws of the Torah that God gave us. And in that time, there were no judges. And there was also no king. It's written over there. It means that the children of Israel did not have people to teach them everything. Micha should have said to her that she's not allowed to do the statue, the image. But she did the statue. And after she made the image, she put candles around it, and she put ktoret, innocence around it, and it became innocence. Incense. So ktoret around it, like worship, but she did not mean to worship another god. She meant only to have the Shekhinah in her house. Then Micha said, but it's not good that we're putting the image in the Shekhinah in our house. We should make a temple for the Shekhinah. So he went to Dan, Shevet Dan, and he put there the image. With a temple, he built a temple for the image. כך הוא החליט, כי זה השבט המאסף. So in Shevet Dan, he put the image and he built the temple. And then one of the Leviim came, he wanted to find a job. He came to his house and he made Yonatan a Levi. And he took him over there and he made him, a priest for the image. And this is how Avodah Zarah started, worshipping another god. Now the children of Israel at that time did not say anything. They did not protest against it. And now we are coming to the second thing that happened. The second thing is this Pilegesh Paliva. And it starts like this. It says in the end of the book of Shoftim, chapter 19, it says, "And it was that in those days there was no king in Israel." It's on purpose, it's written like in here. It happened that there was a Levite man, which means a man from the tribe of Levi, who dwelled to the mountain of Ephraim. He married a concubine wife. It says in the sages, our sages say it means a second wife. He took a second wife for himself.
Concubine.
Pilegesh, like a second wife. It's like a mistress, but it's a second wife. The Tzaranikra. Yes, a legal mistress, exactly. A second wife. And it says that once he took her as a wife, listen, dear women, he had a bad temper, this man. This Levite had a bad temper. it says by halacha, by the laws of Jewish people, it says that a husband should not get angry and shout in his house and cause all of the people of the house to have fear from him. Because it says that once he does that, it causes 3 sins. Gilui arayot, innocent. אני אגיד לכם, גילוי עריות, incest. It says it causes גילוי עריות, it causes שפיכות דמים, that people get killed because of that, and it also causes חילול Shabbat, that people do not keep Shabbat. And the question is, how come 3 averot? It's a must not in halakha that a man comes home and shouts at his wife and does not behave and causes fear in his house, because it causes 3 big averot, 3 big sins: gilui arayot, shfichut damim, and chilul Shabbat. And why? Because when his wife is very, yes, I'll explain the 3 of them now by explaining them. Because when his wife is afraid,
What's the word?
this is when you have
The things bad
when-
and things
when you're intimate with your husband, when you have your period. I'll explain it right now. Gilui arayot, from this point of view, when the wife is afraid from her husband, and this is the day that she goes to the mikveh. Okay, she counted 7 days. This is the day she has to go to them, but she couldn't go to the mikveh. Something happened objectively, and she couldn't go. If the wife is afraid of her husband, she won't tell him that she didn't go. And what will happen, he will be intimate with her, and it will be gilui arayot. It will, because he is intimate with her, and she's like still nida. Do you understand? Yes.
Intimacy between
כן, אבל גילוי עריות זה גם שכיבה בנידה. יש לזה כמה אספקטים, כמה פנים. So if she is afraid, sorry?
What's the translation of Gilui?
sleeping.
Incest.
Okay.
adultery זה בגידה. וגילוי זה במונחים.
למה שהיא תגיד לו? שלא תגיד לו שהיא לא הלכה.
כי הוא מטיל מורה בתוך הבית, פחד. גבר שמטיל, שלא נדע מצרות, I will tell you there are sometimes homes that there's a man that makes the wife, the children, abusive man. It's not a regular person. And our Torah says it in halakha, in the laws of the Torah, that the man is not allowed to cause his wife and his children to be afraid of him. So if she's afraid of him, she will not tell him that she did not go to the mikveh, and he will be intimate with her, and she's nida. And she did not go, and she's not pure. This is Gilui Arayot. The second sin that he causes by behaving like this in his home. The second thing is Shfichut Damim. If she will run away from the home and something will happen to her during that time, a car will kill her, or a car accident, or she will fall in a pit or something bad will happen to her. It's because of him. It's called Shfichut Damim, like he killed her. And the third thing is Chilul Shabbat, because a woman is afraid of her husband, even if she did not finish and if she will not like to stop when Shabbat comes in, she will be so afraid without him even knowing she will do work on Shabbat, because she will be afraid of him. So it causes 3 sins, and the laws in Judaism tells us that he's not allowed to behave like this. He should speak to his wife and children with nachat, gently, nicely, even if he's angry. It's like when I tell you, dear women, don't get angry at home. If you're angry, count till 10. Don't, God forbid, curse your children or say something that you'll regret it after that. Just hold yourselves, count to 10, and then say whatever you want. So it's the same thing. And it says that this man, this Levi, had a very bad temper. And first time it says that Rashi says that he found fly. So he found a fly in his meat when he was eating. So he got angry, but he did not say anything. And after a few days, he found a piece of hair also in his meal. Then he started shouting. She was so afraid of him, she ran away. She ran to her father's house. So it says, and she was from the tribe of Yehuda. So she ran. השנייה, זאת הפילגש. זה נקרא פילגש בגבעה. זה הסיפור. I would like to tell you, the second wife ran to her father. It says, now her father got very distressed. her father said, look, all the people in my town sees her, that she came back home. It means that she did something bad. You know, people start speaking. Maybe she wasn't a good wife. Maybe she betrayed him. Maybe she did something bad. That's Lashon Hara. You know, it's very natural that people start speaking. That's why I told you, don't ever speak about anyone, because you do not know where he comes from. You do not know what causes him. You do not know what causes him to do what he did. You only see, you pinpoint a time. You take the time and you just cut it at the same time that you see him, and then you do not know what happened before and what is going to happen later. You just see him at one point of time. So it's very...
You see a man, close family members or friends, husband with different women. You see it.
That's
So-
something else. That's why there's
Yeah, but
rabbis
maybe they-
that you can...
You see, maybe
No,
they
no,
just
not to
walking.
talk about it, but when you see it and you to someone close, you're just saying not for Lashon Hara, but how to help that family. That I saw somebody that it's for husband of for a very close friend of mine, and I want to help, but I don't know what to do and to whom to say. So to whom I allowed to say that? Obviously not to his wife. But obviously no, not to his wife.
You
but
should go. You should go in order to have shalom bayit. If you have a situation that shalom adam mitzvot, that a husband is betraying his wife, and there's a situation and you know about it.
First of all, you don't know what's maybe they just walk, maybe just
No,
friends.
no, just work is different. But when you obviously you see something that is very bad.
Listen, dear women, if you have and you know that this family can be ruined and they have children,
Just for help, exactly.
if you need to help someone, the best thing is to go to the rabbi, the rabbi that he goes to. Exactly, he will speak to him.
Don't go to rabbis and rabbis are so
He'll say, I heard from
But if he
Eli
doesn't have
before,
a
so it doesn't
rabbi,
happen.
maybe to a person that can influence, a good person that you know that he listens to. But you shouldn't say, I saw him going with another, doing something. You should say,
I saw him, maybe you want to check.
exactly, you should come, around, don't come straight, because then it's Lashon Hara.
His wife also, obviously, right?
Because if you can save a house, if you can save a wife and a children and a husband, you can save a home, it's a big mitzvah. But God forbid, do not lose it as Lashon Hara. כן.
Which kind of mitzvah that is cheating?
אבל מה, אולי אפשר עוד להציל את המשפחה.
אבל איך להציל שהוא יעבוד עליה כל הזמן?
לא, אז אני אומרת, פונים לרב, ומבקשים ממנו בשקט שהוא ידבר עם האיש הזה, על מנת שימצא את הדרך הנכונה. הבנת? זה מה שצריך לעשות. בלי לספר לאחרים. Dear women, let's continue. Shh. Let's concentrate. So his wife ran away from him. And after 4 months, she was staying for 4 months with her father, and he came to ask her to come back home. So he came with his servant to ask her to come back home. Her father was very happy. You know, parents do not want to see their children get a divorce. And they do not like that people are gossiping behind the back of their children. He said, now that her husband came to see her and he wants her back home, all of the people will see that she did not do a bad thing towards her husband, that he is to blame. If he comes and wants her back home, Siman, it means that she's pure. She didn't do anything bad. So he welcomed him. He was laughing towards him. He gave him food. He wanted him to stay because he said, if he has bad temper, I will see that they will have a fight and I will make peace between them. I will speak with him. So he did not want to let him go. But this Levi person wanted to go back home. So one day he said, no, I can't stay anymore. I have to go. So he took his wife, 2 donkeys, and he took food for the way, and with his servant, and he started walking. He came near 2 cities. One of them was the Yevusi, the city of Yevusi. On those times, the Yevusi was sitting in the land, in the city of Jerusalem. Yevusi was Jerusalem then, was called Jerusalem. And then on the other side was the Giv'ah. The Giv'ah was a town in the territory of the tribe of Binyamin. So his servant said, let's go and sleep, because it's night already. It's almost night. Let's go and sleep in the city of Yevusi. But he said, no, because those are foreigners. Let's go and sleep in the Giv'ah, where there are children of Israel over there. It's in the tribe of Binyamin. Let's go over there. So they went over there, and they were sitting in the middle in the center of the town. because they were waiting that someone will invite them, will do achnasat orchim, will invite them for the night. But nobody invited them for the night. No one invited them. And it says that then, a few hours that they were sitting over there, an old man came back from work. He wasn't part of that town, but he was working nearby, so he was renting a home over there. He saw them in the center of the town, and he said, came towards them, and he said, "What are you doing here?" So the man told him, "Well, I came from my father-in-law, and I'm going to Shiloh." He wanted to go to Shiloh in order to sacrifice for Hashem, and then I'm going to go back home. So he said, "You know what? You cannot stay here outside at night. You'll come to my house." He said, "Don't worry, I have everything, all the food for the donkeys, for myself. I have bread, I have wine, I have everything." He said, "No, I will invite you, and I'm going to welcome you in my house and provide for you for everything that you need." So he took them to his house. And then while they were sitting, there were strong knocks on the door. And there were bullies outside the house. And the bullies were shouting towards the old man, "Take out the man that you brought in. We want to know him." They wanted to sodomize him. So they said, "We want to know him." What does that remind you? Sdom v'Amorah. Those bullies, Bnei Belial, it's written in the book of Judges, they said, "We want you to take him out, we want to know him." And you remember in Sdom v'Amorah in Bereshit, when Avraham Avinu asked HaKadosh Baruch Hu that maybe there will be 50 righteous people there, 45, 30 righteous people, then he came to 10, even 10 there weren't out there. And God burned the city, Sdom v'Amorah, be'esh v'gofrit, he burned them. So it says over there in Sdom v'Amorah that there all of the people came, all of the men over there, from children to old men. All of them came over there and were knocking on the door of Lot, you remember? And there were the two angels inside. So they said that they wanted that man in order to know him. So he said, listen, he went out, sorry?
To know him for what?
Exactly. So it says, and you know it's a lot to say, you are not allowed, the sexual intercourse between a man and a man is not allowed by the Torah, period. Zelav ma'Torah, it's not allowed. So they asked, the old man told them, "Listen, dear people, do not do this sin. Please do not do that. I have a virgin daughter in the house. He has his wife. We'll take out both of them for you. Do not touch this man." It's not right to give another person's life for another person's life. But the question was here, which sin will be harder on the children of Israel? Because listen very carefully, dear women. When the children of Israel sin, each and every one of us here in this room, when we sin, all of our sins are not only above us, on ourselves, but it goes on all of the children of Israel. We are all responsible for each other's sins. Do you understand that? All of us. We pay for the sins of every one of us. Even if we did not do the sin, we are responsible for the sins of all of us. Now, the Lo Ta'aseh, which means you must not have sexual intercourse between a man and a man, is a higher sin than being with a woman. So they thought that if they will do that, they will send the girls outside. It will be a less sin than sending the man. Listen, the same thing did Lot. He said, "I have 2 daughters, you remember? I will bring those, they did not know a man yet. I will take these daughters outside." And they did not accept that, all of the people of Sodom. And then what did the angels do? They made them blind, you remember? V'ukusam verim, they couldn't see. They didn't know where they were walking towards where they were walking. Over here it was only, bullies, when you see a group of men, that they are bullies and people are afraid of them. That was the same shit. It wasn't all of the people over there. There were bullies that were like ruling the place. People were afraid of them. There were a few people, but they were strong people, that people were, situations like this, that they are criminal people, that people are afraid of them and they don't know what to do. So they don't say anything in order not to get hurt. We can see it today all the time. Now listen what happened. He took out this Levi person, did not want him to take the virgin daughter, because he gave him a hospitality. So he took his wife and took her outside. They abused her the whole night. In the morning, she was knocking on, but she was on the floor knocking on the door. He opened, he wanted to take her home, but she died. From the abuse, from the cruelty, she died. You know what that Ish Levi did? He took her home and he cut her body into 12 pieces. And he took messengers to each tribe of the children of Israel. And each piece, one of the pieces went to the tribes, even to the tribe of Binyamin. This happened in the Gib'ah, in the tribe of Binyamin. Each part of her. Why? Because he said, I want the children of Israel to see it. Because when you see something, you become very angry. It's not enough to hear. When you see with your eyes, you are astonished. You cannot believe that this can happen. The children of Israel were so righteous. Today we are used to things like that. We hear that all the time on the news. In the newspaper, and on the TV, on the net. You hear that all the time. But such a thing did not happen in between the children of Israel. This was the first time. They did not do such a thing. So all of the tribes, the Sanhedrin, the court decided of all of the tribes that they're going to meet each other on the mitzpeh. They're going to have an assembly that everybody has to come. Look how righteous they were. They called all of the children of Israel. They said, this thing cannot happen in between the children of Israel. It's like, God forbid, somebody has a cancer and it starts. You have to cut everything out from the roots in order that it won't be spread. So they said, we have to do something that everybody will understand that this is not an exceptional thing. So they gathered together and they sent messengers to the tribe of Binyamin and they said, how did you let such a thing happen in your tribe? And the tribe of Binyamin did not answer them. They became very angry. They said, why didn't they not let us, our court, deal with those bad people? Meanwhile, the children of Israel decided to go against the tribe of Binyamin to war. This is one of the tribes of the children of Israel. So they asked the Urim and Tumim. You know the Urim and Tumim that the Kohen Gadol had on him. It's not the stones. The Urim and Tumim was inside the stone with the names of the tribes and the names of the forefathers and Shiftei Yeshurun. It's written on the Urim and Tumim. And they asked, who is the tribe that should lead us to war? So the answer was the tribe of Yehudah should be the first one that will lead to war. Now, the children of Israel had 400,000 strong warriors, and the tribe of Binyamin had 26,000 strong warriors. It says that out of the 26,000 strong warriors, there were 700 men that were Iter Yad Yamino, that used only the left hand. But there were such warriors that everything that they did, if they threw an arrow, it went to the target. They did not miss. So they went to war, and the children of Israel lost the war. And the tribe of Binyamin won the war.
Wow.
You cannot believe it. And then the second time they went to war, they went and asked the Urim. They thought they made a mistake, that they should have asked the Urim and Tumim if they should go to war. So they asked again, shall we go to war? And the Urim and Tumim said yes. And they lost again the war. And you will ask, how come? And you know, thousands and 10,000s of the children of Israel died. So the question is, you will ask me, how come they did not win? Because morally they were on the right side. So it says, listen, look how we are responsible for each other. It says that the angel that criticized us, the angels, Malachim Mekatregim, that criticized us, went to Hashem and said, how will you let the children of Israel win the war? They told Hashem, they told him, listen Hashem, you saw what happened with Micha. He made an image. Nobody protested. The children of Israel did not protest. But now that a human being died, they protest. They did not look at your honor, but they look at the honor of a human being. Instead of first protesting about the image that Micha did, and he made also a temple for the image, they should have protested. And now, if they did protest, nothing would happen. You know, the sins, I told you, Avera rodefet Avera. When you sin once, everything goes, it's like a rolling stone. So it says, the angel told Hashem, so they did not win. this is one of the reasons, but the second reason was because they thought that they're very strong. They had 400,000 warriors. 400,000 warriors, so they thought we are strong. We do not need to ask Hashem how to fight, and we do not need a kohen. You need a special kohen. Kohen lemilchama. It's a special kohen that you put once you have a war. The second time they lost. It says that the third time,
Special Kohen, what kind of?
it's a special kohen. You take a kohen and you make him responsible for the war. He will tell you, he will ask Hashem, he will give you the answers from Hashem, and he will be responsible for. It's not a Kohen Gadol. It's a special kohen lemilchama. It's a special kohen that you appoint just for the times of war. So it says that they understood that they did something bad. They understood that they were wrong. All of the children of Israel fasted. They prayed to Hashem. They cried to Hashem. They asked forgiveness from Hashem. And then they took Pinchas ben Elazar ben Aaron HaKohen. They took Pinchas HaKohen. And now they asked Hashem, do we need to go again to war? Will we win the war? And now Hashem said, gave them the answer, and the Urim the Tumim, yes, I'm going to give the tribe of Binyamin into your hands. So they went a third time to war. And listen very carefully. This time, they took a few of the soldiers in front of the tribe of Binyamin. Meanwhile, the tribe of Binyamin now, the warriors they were very confident with themselves. They won twice the war against the children of Israel. And all the other soldiers of the children of Israel were hiding around the Giv'ah, around the hill. They were hiding.
למה הם נלחמו בשבט לוי ולא בשבט
בשבט בנימין.
למה הם נלחמו יהודים ביהודים ולא באנשים הרעים מהם?
כי הם לא מסרו אותם בידיים שלהם. I told you, I'll explain it again, it's a good question. If you ask why did they go to war with the whole tribe of Binyamin, because they did not agree to give the bad people to the hands of the children of Israel, to the Sanhedrin. So it says that on the third war, they surrounded them quietly, and then when they went out, the warriors, everybody, all of the soldiers that were surrounding the hill, went up and killed everyone. There were only 600 people that survived this war from the tribe of Binyamin. The tribe of Binyamin was very big. It was a very big tribe, because you remember Binyamin had 10 sons. It was a very big tribe. And out of all of this tribe, there were only 600 men that were left. No women, nothing. Only 600. Those men were the men that ran away and hid themselves in the mountains. Now the children of Israel won the war. And they were sitting and thinking. And then they caught a glance. You remember what happened between Yaakov and Yosef? I told you what happened with Yaakov when he let Yosef to search for his brothers, and he didn't take someone to go with him, you remember, to escort him. And then God was very angry with Yaakov, and then God did not show himself to Yaakov for 22 years, because the Shekhinah was not with Yaakov, because he caused a separation between the tribes. You remember I told you, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. God says, the Aleph is towards the name of God, Alufo Shel Olam, that He is the King of the world. And Chet Daled, Chet is 8 in numerical value, and Daled is 4. Together it's 12. It equals 12. This is the 12th combination of the name of God. And God said to Yaakov Avinu, He called him El Elokei Israel. He said, I am God here and you're God there. Which means Aleph is against Yaakov, it's towards Yaakov, and Chet is the 12 sons of Yaakov, which each tribe is parallel to one of the combinations of the name of God. The 12 combinations, from the name that is equal, because Aleph you write as Vav, and the 2 Yudim from both sides, which means this is 10 and this is 10, this is 6, together it's 26. The name 26 of God has 12 combinations. And every month, like next week, I'm going to give you the name of the combination of the name of God for the month of Elul. So every month we have a special combination. And each tribe is parallel to that combination for 12 combinations. So if one of the tribes won't survive, there's no Yehud. The name of God is not full. Do you understand? In this world, because we represent God in this world. We are the children of God. We represent God. So what happened now that the children of Israel understood that there will be a problem. There won't be an yichud of the name of God. So it says, and then they understood, they said, the temple is supposed to be built on the territory of the tribe of Binyamin. But if Binyamin is not there, there won't be Shekhinah over there. So they did not know what to do because they made a promise. You remember I told you in the Parashat Matot that you are not allowed to make a neder or a promise because you cannot get, you have to find a Talmid Chacham that will decide to take this off of you. And it says, Ve'ish Israel nishba b'mitzpeh le'emor, ish mimenu lo iten bito leBinyamin li'isha. None of us will not give his daughter to the sons of Binyamin. Will not give in marriage, their hand in marriage to the children, the sons of Binyamin. So this causes a problem. There are 600 that survive, but they are only men. There are no women, so they can't multiply themselves. They cannot breed. It means that a whole tribe of the children of Israel won't exist because they swore it. So they did not know what to do. They started to cry to Hashem. But Hashem saw that they really, really had teshuvah. They wanted to take off this promise. So first, what did they do? They said, we should check. When we called an assembly and we called all of the children of Israel, you know that when we have a war, the children of Israel have a war, you remember the 2.5 tribes. When Moshe Rabbeinu told them, you are not allowed to stay there, you have to come with all of the children of Israel to conquer the land of Israel. And then you're allowed to go back to the eastern side of Jordan. So it says that if some people did not come, if one did not come to the assembly, they should be punished. And they checked to see who did not come to the assembly, only one place, Yavesh Gilad. They did not come to the assembly. They took themselves out of the children of Israel. So they went to war with them, and there were 400 virgins in that place. They took the 400 virgins because they weren't part of the swearing. They did not swear. They weren't there in the assembly. And they took them and they made marriage between them and 400 of the tribe of Binyamin. But then there were 200 left. 200 were left. So they thought, what shall we do? So they told the tribe of Binyamin, look how beautiful it is. They said, listen, the women go to Jerusalem. They were dancing there on Tu B'Av, on the 15th of Av. They were dancing with white dresses, dancing mecholot in order to find a man in order to get married. You know, the children of Israel did not stay like today until they are 40, 30, 40, 50 not married. So they used once a year to gather together, and then the women were dancing, and the men were choosing a woman and were getting married. So it says that the women used to wear white dresses. They used to borrow their dresses from each other. If it was a very rich woman, she will borrow it from a different woman. Why? Because not in order to cause embarrassment to the poor women of the children of Israel. So they used to borrow dresses from each other. And they used to go and dance, and bimcholot betupim, and with drums, they used to dance. And they told the tribe of Binyamin, the 200 men that was left without wives, they told them, hide yourselves in the vineyards around where they're dancing, and just grab a woman. Just grab a woman. When their fathers and brothers will come to you and say, but I didn't give my exception that you will marry. Tell them that you are very rich and you will treat their daughters well, because 600 men had all of the property of the tribe of Binyamin, which were at least 17,000. So now all the property was spread by 600 men. So they were very rich. So they took the daughters and got. You know who was one of them? One of them was Shaul HaMelech, King Shaul. One of them was Shaul. It says in the Midrash that Shaul was very shy. He was Baishan. He was Shaul HaMelech. Ken, he was the first king. It says that he was very shy, that the woman had to run after him. The woman ran after him. You know, it's natural that a man mechazer acharei isha. That when he wants a woman, he comes and... איך אומרים מחזר בנתפחר המילה? There's a woman, dates, but he's the one that makes the first step. It's natural. Today we mixed up the natural thing.
Today natural
Why-
is a woman.
Yes. Why is it natural, dear women? I have to tell you. Why is it natural? It is natural. Shh. It says in the Torah. Why is it natural? Because when God created woman, He took part of the ribs of a man. And when He took part of the ribs, the man wants back his ribs. So he has to find his match. That's why he goes. But that's why it's his job to go and go towards the woman and chazer achareh. Because part of him is in that woman. Because God created the woman part from the man. He took the ribs and created the woman. So he has to find his ribs back. He has to find it. He's the one that is supposed to chazer achareh Isha. He's supposed to reach out for the woman. And I would like to tell you, on that day, on the 15th of Av, they said, because we swore that ish mimenu lo iten, which means none of us will give. This means that this includes only our generation. The other generations that will come, they can give the daughters to the tribe of Binyamin. So that's how on the 15th of Av, they were allowed also to marry the men from the tribe of Binyamin. That's why it's the day of love, because it's the day of marriage. Zivug, it's good on that day, on the 15th of Av, Lasot Chatuna. It's very good. It's a good day for that. I would like to tell you, dear women, I know it's late, but let me give you something from the Pardes. I would like to give you something at the end.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Who was this woman that got chopped up in 12 pieces?
Her name is not mentioned.
Yeah, but what was she? My tikna. It's a mezazeh אותי.
זה התיקון שלה היה.
What?
She says, what did she fix? Listen, I told you, all of us are responsible for each other. When we sin, this sin goes on all of us. Why? Because I already told you. It seems in this world, I'll finish it. I'll have something to give you at the end, because it's also connected to Tilim and Tu B'Av, and I would like to give you to the Pardes. It seems that each and every one of us is in an individual. We are separated from each other. We look different from each other. But you know what? We are all one soul. All of the children of Israel are combined to one soul. We are just sparkles of that soul. That's why we are responsible for each other. That's why if we do a mitzvah, we are all gaining from that mitzvah. But if we sin, we all are responsible for that sin. And when a person is responsible, God decides the way of his sins, and then He decides what to do with him. And sometimes righteous people are killed, just like the 10 people, the 10 Tanaim that were slaughtered. They were not slaughtered for their sins, but for our sins they were slaughtered. So and I told you that there's an altar in the Ba'olam Ha'emet. There's an altar in the next world. There's an altar, but they don't sacrifice over their sheep. They sacrifice the souls of the righteous people over there, because those righteous people are like kapara for all of the children of Israel, in order that we will have time to do tshuva. We'll have time to do tshuva. It says at the end of Masechet Ta'anit, it says like this. אמר רבי אלעזר, עתיד הקדוש ברוך הוא, listen very carefully, עתיד הקדוש ברוך הוא לעשות מחול לצדיקים, והוא יושב ביניהם בגן עדן. It says that when Mashiach will come, God is going to do a circle for the tzaddikim, for the righteous people, it says, and He's going to sit with them in paradise, began Eden. He was going to dance with them in a circle. How is this connected to Du B'Av? What is the circle connected to Du B'Av? Why is it written over here? And it says something very nice. Look at the words Tu B'Av. Tu B'Av, Tet Vav. B'Av. זה 15. Tu B'Av is 15th of Av. Now let's look at the pshat. It means that this is the 15th out of the Aleph Bet letters. Look, Tu B'Av, the 15th letter from the Aleph Bet. Tu B'Av. It means the 15th letter of the Aleph Bet. You see that? So let's look. What is the 15th letter of the Aleph Bet? The 15th letter is, if I'm looking, Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Daled, Hey, Vav, Zayin, Chet, Tet, Yud. This is the 10th. Chaf, Lamed, Mem, Nun, Samech. The 50th is Samech. What did I just tell you? That God is going to make a circle with the tzaddikim. The circle is Samech. You see, Samech, it's a circle. What is a circle? Usually the circle shows us that our life is a circle. We are born in this world, and then we pass away and another person is born. We have a circle in our life. All of our life is a circle. But listen very carefully. It's connected to Tehillim. I need the Tehillim Kuf Mem Hey. You have it? You can open it? Thank you. So it says in the Midrash like this. There's a Midrash Satum. אמר רבי יונתן, מפני מה לא נאמר נון במזמור אשרי יושבי ביתך. אשרי יושבי ביתך is the psalm that goes to קוף מם ה'. It's 145 of the psalms in Tehillim. That's the number of the psalm. It means תהילה לדוד. אשרי, כן, and then it has תהילה לדוד. And it says of 145. Can you give it to me, please? Yeah, we'll finish with this. Open on 145. Yeah. Okay. And it says, you'll see, it starts with Tehillah David and then Aleph. You see, all of this psalm goes by the Aleph Bet. It starts with Eromimcha Elokai Amelech, and then it goes Bechol Yom the Bet, and then it goes Gadol Hashem. You'll see it's by the Aleph Bet. Aleph Bet. But the only letter in the alphabet that is missing over here is Nun. If you look, Nun is not there. The letter Nun in chapter 145, Kuf Mem Hey. In Tehillim, the letter Nun is not there. You will see it goes like this. It says, we have Mem, Malchutcha Malchut Kol Alamim, and then we have after Mem, instead of Nun, we have Samech. Somech Hashem lechol hanoflim. It's written Somech Hashem lechol hanoflim. You'll see Nun is not there. It has Mem and then Ayin, but it doesn't have the letter Nun. Over here there's no Nun. You won't find Nun. And the question is why? It says that it's written in, I'll explain to it, we'll do it together. It's written in the book of the prophet Amos. It's written, Nafla lo tosif kum betulat Yisrael. It says, Nafla lo tosif kum betulat Yisrael. It means that the Virgin of Israel fell down, she won't raise up again. And this starts with the letter Nun. This is in the book of the prophet Amos. Nafla, I'll explain. Nafla lo tosif klum betulat Israel. Which means that the children of Israel fell. And we fell a few times, and we are still in exile. The ruining of the first temple, the second temple, but over here it's a special Nafla. Nafla lo tosif kum betulat Israel. It means that those who went into the 50th gate of impurity died. And where did they die? In Egypt. You remember 80% of the children of Israel were already in the 50th gate of impurity, and they died when it was darkness. You remember? And they buried them. Only 20% of them went out of Egypt. Because only 20% had the 49th gate. 49th gate of impurity. So it says in the Midrash, because Nafla, the sentence about the fall in the 50th gate of impurity starts with Nun, with the letter Nun, with 50. The letter Nun is also a numerical value 50. So because of that, David HaMelech, King David, did not want to put it inside. He wanted to help this Nun, this letter Nun. He wanted to help this sentence. He wanted the Tulat Israel to rise up again. So what did he do? Look how beautiful it is. He put the Nun inside. But where did he put the Nun? He put the Nun in the sentence. Somech Hashem lechol hanoflim. This is the clue. God helps, raises up all those who fall down. Those who fall down in the 50th gate. Look how beautiful it is. We just read Tehillim. Those who fall down in the 50th gate of impurity. When you read this psalm, you remember what I taught you right now. סומך השם לכל הנותנים.
איך השם
People-
סומך למי שנפל בחטא או
הוא נותן לך להמשיך לחיות. לא סומך עלייך? הוא לא נותן לך? אם היה מפיל... If you would... בטח מקים אותך. עד כמה בבוקר we raise... When we wake up in the morning, didn't we sin a day before? He does not kill us. He lets us gives us another chance and another chance. Maybe we'll do tshuva. This is סומך, רחום וחנון.
Where it's the סומך.
סומך, you see, the sentence in...
In 145 it's
Yes,
סומך.
in 145, after the letter mem, you do not find the letter nun. הנה אני אסביר את זה שוב. After the letter mem, you do not find the letter nun. There's supposed to be
It
nun.
goes סמך,
King
but
David,
inside the סמך it's a
yes, King David said, I won't put the nun because it's written in Navi Amos and the prophet Amos, נפלה לו תוסיף ותקום בתורת ישראל. I don't want the children of Israel. I want God to help the children of Israel. So he took the somech. You remember I told you right now, because God will make a circle with the righteous people and he will sit with them in paradise. So it says, he says, King David, I will take the samech, and I will take the samech that will raise that the merit of the righteous people will help the people that went into the 50th gate of impurity. Dear women, when Mashiach is going to come, I would like to tell you that then God is going to open the 50th gate of purity, of binah, only to the righteous people, and they will have the power to raise up all the people that went, all the children of Israel that are already inside the 50th gate of impurity. But this is only when Mashiach comes.
איזה שער זה?
שער ה-50.
כן, אבל מה המשמעות שלו?
שער ה-50, שער ה-50 של בינה, זה של חוכמה, זה השער הכי גבוה שיכול להיות. משה רבינו היו לו 49 שערים. והוא זכה ל-50, אבל הוא התבטל לו בגלל העוונות של עם ישראל. כי צדיקים משלמים על העוונות של הדור. אז I would like to tell you, dear women, with those words, we are starting now the preparation towards the month of Slichot, the month of asking for forgiveness from Hashem, the month of Tshuva. We are starting now the preparations. I would like to tell you, dear women, it's written, it says that in numerical value, if you'll take 15 B'Av, if you take 15, you write 15 B'Av, the 15th of Av, it is equal, I think it's 928, it's equal to Ktiva Bechatima Tova. Listen, which means from here on, I would like, this is exactly equal in numerical value, it's 928 each sentence. You'll make the numerical value of each sentence, you will find it's the same. So it's 929, 15 B'Av, the 15th of Av, and K'tiva v'chatima tova, that God will write you and sign your name for good things for next year.
What it means 922, what is this?
K'tiva, that's what we bless ourselves in the 10 days between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippurim.
Why the number is like very important?
Because it means that from now on, from 15, from the 15th of Av, we are going to start Tshuva, and Be'ezrat Hashem, with this Tshuva, we'll have K'tiva v'chatima tova on Rosh Hashanah v'Yom Kippurim. Do you understand? So I would like to bless all of you now, Be'ezrat Hashem, שיגיע משיח, צאתנו במהרה בימינו אמן. אליהו הנביא, אליהו תשבילהו גליד במהרה בן משיח בן דוד, אליהו הנביא זכור לטוב. לעולם ייפרד אדם מחברו בדבר הלכה, יחיד ורבים הלכה כרבים. God bless you.